Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about why you really want to start training yourself to not focus so heavily on the 3D as confirmation for your manifestations, even when it's favorable. So you definitely don't want to miss this, because this really coincides with, that your power's in your mind and that the 3D is an illusion and is always changing constantly. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, Conscious Life and Success Coach, and I'm really excited that we are here today. If you feel like you need additional support other than my free content on YouTube, as well as my free Facebook group, I do have so many different ways to work with me. I have email coaching, one-on-one video sessions. I have Zoom group coaching sessions and a paid Facebook group. You can find the master list below that shows you everything that I have available at this time. I also have a couple courses available. The self-concept course, it's a 28-day program that's really focused on your self-concept and relationships. So you definitely want to check that out. I just revamped it and redid it. I also have, how to manifest your SP back and keep them for good. And I have, if you want to do some healing, I have the inner child masterclass. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how you really want to start breaking the pattern as much as you can daily to not look for evidence in the 3D or confirmation in your 3D. So we have to understand this, that first and foremost, that every time you're focusing and thinking and being intentional on something, your 3D is already in motion. It's already conforming to that new fucking story, okay? So here's what people tend to do. They keep looking out here because, listen, we are in human form, so we experience life through our 5 senses. So of course we're going to, look around us like, oh, what's happening? What is this? What is that? Because we're experiencing it through our 5 senses. So you have to understand that when you do that, all you're doing is affirming that, yes, this is happening. Yes, this is my life, right? Now, that's not a bad thing, but you have to understand something, that whatever you are experiencing is old. So the 3D, there's usually some lag time where it hasn't caught up with your 4D, the story in your mind, especially when you're creating a new one, especially when you've had, natural assumptions that are not favorable that you're in the process of reprogramming. So when you're experiencing your 3D, right, through your 5 senses, you see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, okay? So when you're doing that, you're affirming if this is here or it's not here, whatever it is, your person, money, an experience, like it really doesn't matter. It's across the board. So even when it's favorable, it's still produced from old thoughts. So the 3D comes from old thoughts. So it's always conforming. So even if, things are showing up and really favorable, that reinforces that, hey, this is working, right? That, hey, it's manifested, that, hey, it's here. So it starts to reinforce and make it a belief for you. But you really want to understand that your power isn't here. So even when things are great out here, even when, or they're not fucking great, you still always need to be in your mind of what it is that you want to create, if there's things that you want to change and create for yourself. Now, a lot of people, they don't understand that when you're recreating something or you're reprogramming a natural assumption, it's a process. It is about you literally rewiring your mind and, overcoming a whole system of thoughts that you have reinforced through your prior manifestations that really make you deeply believe this. And this is why when you start thinking something new, the 3D has to instantly conform, even if you don't see it, even if you're not aware of it in your 3D experience, right? Your physical experience, it doesn't mean shit's not in motion. And this is the trap. I don't really know if that's fucking right word, right? But this is how people really struggle, right? They keep looking out here to see, is there movement? What are they saying to me? What are they doing this? What are they doing that? And it's really understanding that even if it's favorable or not fucking favorable, it's not permanent, okay? So, well, I guess it could be permanent if it's your natural assumption and that's what keeps going out. But when you're reprogramming, you want to really train yourself to break away from that in this area. That no, my power is in my mind. I'm going to keep, focusing on the story I want. Even when shit shows up that I don't like, so what? It was already created with old thoughts. This is why you want to really, and it's a process, train yourself that when something shows up that you don't like, you're like, okay, shit sucks. Shit really fucking sucks right now, but What do I want? What do I want? Who am I? This shit is old, null, and fucking void. Okay. So this is what I want. This is what's going to continue to show up the more I persist in it. It just hasn't caught up yet. And you really want to start training your mind to think that way as best as you can. And the more you do it, the easier it'll get for you. The less reaction you'll have, the less, going down that fucking spiral that keeps you like off your mental diet and going back to all your old programming and shit that you were, thinking and believing and feeling like forever, right? And that's what we don't want you to do. That's not going to be favorable for you. So you really want to keep persisting in the story in your mind, knowing that that's where the power is, that's what's shaping everything out here. So this shit usually hasn't caught up, which is why there's a gap, why there's that discrepancy at times, especially when you're reprogramming. So just stay persistent, keep, training yourself to always focus more and more on what you want. And at some point, the yucky shit will start, dissipating out. You'll experience less and less of it, and you'll start seeing more and more evidence in your 3D, but that's in your favor, right? But even when you do that, definitely get excited and affirm it, but keep remembering that this is where my power is. So I want to train myself to always go in my mind for confirmation, for validation, knowing that this is how I'm going to get what I want. And sometimes this is what people do too. Like they start affirming something and they're like affirming for a couple hours or even a couple days or something. And then they get upset because the 3D didn't shift to match it. And sometimes that happens. But again, why are you looking at the 3D and saying, oh my gosh, it's not working? You need to keep persisting because the 3D is already conforming. It's already shifting. You don't know what the bridge of incidence is. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes that's working in your favor if you keep persisting on the story you want so you get what you want. So you just have to keep focused in your mind on what it is that you want, and you keep persisting in it until it hardens into fact. And like I always say, it'll harden into fact when it's showing up regularly and consistently, and it's your normal way of life, and you just now naturally expect this is how it is. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.